Good morning, everyone. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. This is a weekly update from Suresh Kumar, representing Zebu and Zebu School. What a week it was. The week started 2 days in green and then a big fall that has happened in the last 3 days. Why it has happened and what we could have done and what is in store for the next week. That is all what we are going to see today. Okay, fine. First thing first, how the sectors have played out this week. Nifty, if you had to see, it fell down by about 245 points, that is about 1.4 percentage. It's big on a weekly closing basis. It's a big downfall. And the Nifty Bank, a bank Nifty that is, as usual, it is much more violent than the Nifty. If it goes up, it goes up. It goes down, it goes down. Much violent than Nifty. So today, this week, it has fallen by about 1.9 percentage. So almost all the sectors, even the mid caps have fallen by about 0.3 percentage. Yes, it is holding out much better when compared to Nifty, but still it is down. VIX has gone up by 1.1 percentage this week. That is signs of times. But then the way the market was moving violently and volatile, the way this is not captured in the VIX properly. It is our opinion that even though VIX is at 15.03, the implied volatility, as measured by the numbers that is given by the trading numbers, but the real volatility would be much more uh, than what it is displayed here. So be very, very careful when you are taking a directional view about the market and the nature of the market itself, because it's much more violent than it is the numbers suggest it is. Again, Nifty IT, which is fallen by about 26 percentage year on year, has fallen again by 2.3 percentage. That keeps on falling up. The reason being, people ascribe it to the lot of layoffs that's happening in US companies, IT companies, as well as in Indian companies also. The reason being that they feel that they are overstaffed for the economic activity that is taking place in the country, their country, as well as their segment of the market, and then even the company also. So, since they are cutting down the cost on the employee side, they might be cutting down on the project side too. So that is why the Indian companies, which is reliant on the services industry, providing services to the big IT companies as well as the big corporates, they are fearing a downturn, and it is getting reflected in the prices of the shares, IT shares. So it is down by about 2.3 percentage. One silver lining, even though a small silver lining, we would say that it's 0.5 percentage in the Nifty Pharma. It is okay. And PSE, the public sector enterprise, they are doing a little better. The index went up by about 0.8 percentage, and even in the falling market itself, people started with the PSU banks as well as the PSUs are again back in limelight. People started loving that because of the low PE ratios and the dividend. Usually, these PSUs pay hefty dividend to the shareholders. That is the reason people are flocking to it, and decent enough valuations. The valuations are some companies are available at single-digit valuations, which you will not find it in their listed private company, private sector peers. So that is the reason people flocking to it. People flocking into it because of the overvaluation. The private sector enterprises. So that is one of the reasons why the PSU and PSU banks are doing well. Um, Realty again dipped by about 1.4 percentage this week. Real estate is a function of the economy. Usually, it is, even though it is plastic when compared to the real-time adjustments, the land prices and the real estate prices, the buildings and the construction prices don't change as often as other things, as fluid as other things. Still, they are also a function of economy. So if there is a slowdown into the economy, if it affects the IT sector jobs, then probably that real estate sector will also suffer a bit. So that is why it is reflected in the reality index. It's down by about 1.4 percentage. Auto doing decent well. It didn't fall. That is all the we can say. And FMCG, yes, it's still holding on by about 0.5 percentage. That is what it is. Media, yep, it's down about 2.3 percentage. Not surprisingly, Sensex fell by about 1.5 percentage, which is in track with the Nifty. So it all said and done, it was a kind of mild week when compared to the other weeks. There was a fall. Yes, still it's a mild week. And FIDA activities, if you were to see, uh, see this. You see, they have sold about 4,900 crores worth of um, stocks net till yesterday. So probably even the market being a down day, probably FIS would have sold some more today. But for the first 4 days of the year, leading year, they have sold about 4,900 crores. Compare it with December, where they have sold in the entire month itself, they have sold about 14,000 14,200 crores and all. So if when you compare it in the first 3 days itself, first 4 days itself, they have sold one third of what they have sold in the December. If you were to take it in the November, November was a bit better because they have bought, FAS bought about 20,000 crores, 22,400 crores worth of stocks in the cash market. So comparing it, there is a slow and steady increasing in FA selling activities, which is uh, um, which is having some pressure on the index as well as the mainline stocks. So there is a natural cap. This FA selling says put a lid on the how much Nifty can go up in at least in the medium term. Um, Again, why they are doing it? The FAs are selling Indian stocks because they are taking their money back to the safety. It is called a flight to safety because Federal Reserve minutes has shown that Fed has no intention to increase the interest rates or rather decrease the interest rates by 2023. They want to observe whether the inflation is really tamed or is it within the control. Till such time, they are confident that yes, inflation is properly contained. The Federal Reserve have decided to not to reduce the interest rate in the 2023. So if that being the case, then the interest rates are going to be in the elevated level, at least when compared to what it was earlier a year back. So uh, the people are little worried. People are worried because earlier there used to be easy money which translated into increased asset prices and the speculative activities that is happening in various asset classes like NFT, the cryptocurrencies, even real estate and stocks and aid stocks, they call it those kind of stocks. So people used to do that because now because money was essentially uh, almost without cost. So that is the reason people borrowed heavily in USA and inflated the asset prices. Now that there is a unwinding that is happening because of the quantitative tightening that is happening, that is taken as a course by Federal Reserve, that is affecting the markets, and there is a flight for safety. So even though of all the markets, the Indian markets are the best markets, they have to sell it and taking their money and then putting it in the little on the safe shores of the dollars. So that is what they are doing. Mm. So let's see how this month fares when compared to the previous months. But the way the first 5 days has shown that FA has no, they are not relenting. They are just kept on selling every day in the cash markets. Uh, and let's get to, so what are the strategies that say, suppose you are a trader, what are the strategies that would have given you a reasonable chance for success? Except for one day where there was a whipsaw moment that happened that was on the mm, Thursday, that is on the expiry day. Every other day, markets were clearly in going in one direction or other. People who have taken directional strategies would have had much higher success than the people without any directional strategy. So how long this is going to be, it's anybody's guess. But still, last 1 month, the market was favoring directional strategies. So till such time as the market dynamics changes, you consult with your financial advisor and try to learn more about the directional selling and then keep executing it. So and there is a overhang that has uh, come in the markets, which there is a wall of worry that will prevent the Nifty from gaining much in a couple of weeks. That is one of the things, the earnings of Bajaj Finance. They have given a very subdued numbers, and the positions are also not to the expectation. So there is a fear among the market, in the market participant, that's okay. Bajaj Finance is a reflection of the economy, because Bajaj Finance lends out to the people who want to buy uh, many things. So if the lending activity is not picking up steam, or the growth is coming down, then that shows that there is some sluggishness in the demand when observed in the real economy. So that is the reason why that stock was particularly punished, and similar such stocks were also punished and brought down. And this in turn pulled down various indices, and this is something which need to watch over. And the people of many people are of the opinion that Bajaj Finance anyway is a very highly valued stock, so this correction could be healthy if it is to correct a little further. So we need to wait and watch for that. Next week there is going to be a lot of earnings session and announcement on the last quarter, how they have fared, and the projection for the next quarter. So we need to keep watch over it, and find out if there's some stocks are available despite their good performance. If they are available at reasonable price, then one should consider taking some positions, or at least light positions in these stocks. And there is, on the technical front, there is a big worrisome thing that has happened in the market, in particular in the Nifty. It has breached 100-day moving average and came down. Uh, right now, it is between 50 and 100-day moving average for the 9 consecutive days. So it is Nifty is sort of looking for a direction. It is not decisively breaking down or breaking up when compared to the moving averages. So keep that in your mind, and when you are developing strategies for Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. So let's see how the other the commodities. We have had a look at the equity markets. Let's see how the other stocks have or Bitcoin, let's say other asset classes have fared. It is the Bank Nifty, if I'm told, it is one of the rarest occurrences where there is hardly any movement in Bitcoin. So the highest was about 16,991, close to 17,000, and the lowest was 16,548. The 500 rupees, less than 500 rupees gap for one between the high and low for 1 week is kind of unheard of. So uh, there is sluggishness in all asset classes, particularly in the cryptocurrencies, because they have fell out of favor with many people who have bought it at a very high price. So very rarely you will see such a subdued week for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but it has happened in the last week. Um, then one, rupee is range bound, and from 82.99, 82.99 as the high, and low of 82.49. It is 50 points difference, 0.5% difference is not 5, 0.5 rupee is the range for the uh, USD INR, which is quite low when compared to various other days in the past. So this is one week it has moved up by only 0.5 percentage. So it is we're stuck in a range. When it breaks out, it will break out violently. So plan if you are trading in currencies, then are using it for hedging, then please be aware that whenever this kind of uh, uh, it is stuck up in a range and it breaks very violently. So if you are having a short position in either in the B or C, please be very careful, hedge your risk, and be prepared for this. Now let's go to crude oil. Crude oil had a very violent week. The high was about 6,750 and the low is 6,156. About 10 percentage is the difference between the high and low. It's actually low is 6,019. So it is very violent, dominated by two red days, very long red days. So crude it has fallen and it will give some respite for the net oil importing countries like India. Uh, let's see how the crude oil plays in the next week, then we'll take a call on that. So that is the market roundup. What should we do in the next week? Next week is a totally different ball game altogether. Still, what with all the things that is happening in the world, it pays to be safe and have very light positions when you are when you're going for the weekend. So wish you happy and profitable trading and a nice weekend. Thank you. This is Suresh Kumar signing off for Zebu and Zebu School. Thank you very much. Have a profitable next week. Thank you.